There are some places in the world with the most turbulent histories that end up turning into the most thriving, exciting places to visit. And Medellín Colombia is a testament to this. Once home to the Medellín cartel, it now has colourful, bustling neighbourhoods.
Check this out behind me. Can you imagine painting your house this colour at home?
Incredible art, coffee, nightlife, and a history you just can't ignore. In this guide, I'll take you through Comuna 13, the story of Pablo Escobar, explore Botero and the famous day trip to Guatapé.
Guatapé!
Giving you a taste of what to see, do and eat in Colombia's city of eternal spring. We landed in the colourful city of Medellín. First stop, Comuna 13, Comuna 13. We loaded up on a colourful, pimped-out bus to head to the Comuna with our guide Miguel.
It's really funny because there's loads of people like stopping to take pictures of the bus, with us just in the background.
Comuna 13 was once one of the most dangerous neighborhoods in the world.
The government at the one time dropped the lands of the farmers, kidnapped the farmers, and one time killed everybody in the farms. For that reason, these people are meant to defend.
In the 80s and 90s, it was cartel territory, a battlefield between Escobar's men, rival gangs, and guerrilla fighters.
Escobar never stayed in the Comuna 13, okay? Never held the people or the farm, nothing. Okay? But Escobar started the narco-trafficking war in the 1984.
At one point, murders were so frequent here that locals joked about a 2-hour life expectancy if you crossed the wrong street. The turning point came in 2002 with Operation Orion.
For this operation, the government needed 2,000 militaries and cops, 3 helicopters, Black Hawk, and 2 tanks. But not was enough.
Hundreds of soldiers, Black Hawk helicopters and armoured cars stormed the neighbourhoods. They flushed out the armed groups but left behind disappearances and the scars that the community still feels today. It's perfectly situated at a high point with direct route to the Atlantic Ocean, the perfect spot for smuggling drugs.
A pretty thin, narrow streets with really tall houses.
Just walking around the Comuna, you can feel the artistic spirit, with walls covered in painted murals.
Super detailed as well and very colourful.
Very colourful.
We passed a breakdancing troupe playing to the tourists and even a caged football pitch within the community.
Kind of like, if you ever used to play the game Fika Street, it's like that. Like, tiny, colourful football pitch, five-a-side pitch, surrounded by buildings.
And then for the strange part, the escalators.
It seems so random that they built escalators here.
Outdoor escalators built into the hillside, carrying you up through layers of houses and political street art.
It feels surreal to be on like a normal street, but to be going up escalators.
Hummingbirds symbolising the Black Hawks used to drop soldiers during Operation Orion, beetles carrying tanks, and messages of resistance painted on the walls. From a higher vantage point, you can see the financial struggle.
An amazing view over the city of Comuna 13 that makes you realise that without the escalators, it would have been a seriously long climb up.
Micheladas are famous here in Colombia, so we stopped for one. They're made with beer or soda and topped with lime, salt and fruit.
So good.
Is it?
I love it, yes. Fresh.
They're sweet, fizzy, citrusy and definitely worth checking out. Before long, we stopped for a cerveza and one of the best Spanish freestyle raps I've ever heard. And also one of the only Spanish freestyle raps I've ever heard. But it was still great.
Great beat, everyone was up on their feet, everyone dancing. It was properly cool. Understanding a bit of Spanish was helpful because you get to understand the punchlines when they're roasting people.
We grabbed cremas, a specialty here sold by Doña Consuelo. I had a maracu mango.
It's like an amalgamation of mango and passion fruit, and we're dipping it into like really bitter lemonade. Quite refreshing.
Very addictive. Then it was time to head into the city for vegan sushi at Helecho.
And some veggie ramen as well. Look at that.
Once you leave the tourist area of El Poblado, the city definitely gets rougher around the edges. Our next stop was Plaza Botero. Fernando Botero is Colombia's most famous artist, known for his oversized boterismo sculptures.
Like a soldier with like his tiny cone penis.
The plaza is filled with 23 of them, out of proportion figures, round and surreal with people climbing all over them. In the same square is the Museum of Antioquia, but coffee came first.
And the coffee shop they have here is actually Urbania, which is the same coffee brand as Mornit.
coffee número 2 of the day.
Bye-bye.
The museum itself is a concrete slab with an open centre.
In this strange industrial, communist-looking building lies one of the best art galleries I've been to in I don't know how long.
A splash of colour and a maze-like layout. Inside are some of Botero's most famous works, including the death of Pablo Escobar and his cheeky Mona Lisa, age 12. It's great to see such a politically motivated part of Colombian history. Back in Poblado for dinner at Mamasita.
It's meant to be really authentic, happy and boo, so you're very excited to try it out.
Salsa music in the background, fresh food and a great vibe.
What's funny, it's like ingredients that we get at home, but like supersized. Take a look at the size of this avocado. It is absolutely massive.
After dinner, we headed back to the Masaya Medellin, our hostel, for a bachata class. Bachata is a partner dance from the Dominican Republic with romantic steps, hip movement and spins. We started with the basics and then partnered up, and before long we were dancing under the city lights. For our first time, I think I was pretty impressed.
It is morning in Medellin, and we're headed to the highest rated coffee stop in the whole city, Pergamino.
The V60 coffee here was light, delicate, super fruity, and a perfect way to taste Colombian coffee, some of the best in the world.
I was at the counter, ordered our breakfast, and I saw this black croissant, and I was like, I've got to have that black croissant. So now I have it. I know we've not been here long, but I think this is best meal in Colombia so far.
The next day started heavy at Barrio Pablo Escobar.
Now, it's a bit of a controversial thing to do here. People don't really talk about it. For example, a hostel won't offer it as a tour. Some people say that actually we don't want to pay respect, or we don't want to remember that did such atrocious crimes, which I completely agree with. But equally, it's such an important part of the history of Medellin and the history of Colombia, and really the history of the world.
Escobar built these homes in the 80s for families who'd lost everything. So for some people here, he's remembered as the man who gave them a house. You still see the murals and the tributes with the government rushing to paint over them to erase his shadow, representing the constant struggle between the government and the people.
For 10 years behind me, there's a huge mural celebrating the life of Pablo Escobar built neighborhoods, quite controversially. And then a month ago, just 4 weeks ago, the government had it painted over. It seems surreal how the history is not being remembered for the violence, but it's trying to be deleted.
We saw Pablo's life in photos, visiting his hiding place and the roof where he died.
So that's the roof that Pablo would have jumped out of.
And finally his grave, alongside Gustavo and Griselda.
There's flowers by the grave. People, members of the public, it's not clear why, but are coming here and leaving fresh flowers every day. Not just one, it's quite a lot of flowers.
Our last cartel-linked stop was Park Inflexion, once the site of Pablo's Monaco building, his main residence.
So this is the place where the Monaco building was, infamous building where Pablo Escobar used to live, on the penthouse. Rest of the building empty other than the second to top floor, which was his security. He only lived on the top. He did that for his own security.
Now it's a memorial to his victims. 46,000 bullet holes represent each victim of his terror. And on the other side, a timeline of 200 bombings and violent events tied to the cartel. The scale of what we're seeing here is indescribable. Then we headed out to Provenza, a popular lively street in Poblado with bars, restaurant and Gringo Tuesdays, an unexpected gem. This was a language exchange night where you pick a language and your level, so Spanish, beginner or intermediate.
El licor nacional.
And then you sit at the table and meet other travelers and local Colombians while practicing your Spanish.
Es otra historia muy...
We sat at the Spanish table meeting travelers speaking in Spanish while drinking aguardiente antioqueño, Colombia's finest anise-flavored liqueur. A few shots later, I met up with Sam for a dinner a few doors down in Provenza.
We're at Yacky Chan's dinner today, and it's on the Provenza Strip.
The next morning, Melissa, who we'd met on the Comuna 13 tour, invited us to join her in Guatapé, famous for its colourful streets, lakeside views, and the big rock, El Peñón de Guatapé.
And we're going to climb it. 700 steps.
a 200-meter granite monolith once sacred to the indigenous Dahami people. 2 hours later, and we'd arrived. Pictures don't prepare you for the size of this thing.
You see this rock on pictures and videos, but you can't quite understand the scale of it. It is absolutely humongous.
The climb is sweaty, but at the top you're rewarded with an insane view.
And they're really green. There's all these little islands with these houses on. Yeah, it's definitely a view that's worth climbing for.
Turquoise water twisting through peninsulas and islands, the results of a dam project in the 70s. Heading down, we stopped for caramelized coconut and fresh juice before a boat ride to the reservoir. And in Colombia, boat rides aren't quiet. There was music, dancing, and beers passed around, of course. After the boat, we stopped for lunch, again filled with music. And then walked the cobbled streets of Guatapé.
Every single door, every single house is painted in like a super bright colour.
The town is famous for its zocalos. Bright panels decorated the base of every building, each one showing the story of the family or the shop inside.
Chepe Parra, Jose Maria Parra.
The pride here is clear and the streets are spotless and the colours popping.
Just a bit ridiculous how amazingly everything is painted. You can tell the pride that people take in making sure that the houses are painted really nicely and that the murals of their house are also done really nicely.
I found a caramel waffle that might be the most unhealthy thing I've ever eaten. Sam got a cream cinnamon roll and Melissa had an ice cream. Can you tell that we're on diets? Back in Medellin, we tried to burn it off with a salsa class at the hostel. Salsa is woven into Colombian culture. It's more than just a dance. It's a way of life here, and there's no better way than salsa-ing than on a rooftop.
And now it's 9:30 p.m. and we're off to get a pizza.
Really highly rated pizza, Cafe Zorba, and also live music on a Wednesday, so we're going to go there.
We ended the night on the Masaya rooftop with the city lights stretching into the mountains.
Rooftop bar is definitely one that needs to be on the list in Medellin.
I think even if you're not staying here, I'd recommend coming just to see the vibes.
You've got the raw history of the cartels, the violent transformation of Comuna 13, the art of Botero, the flavours of local food and drink, colourful Guatapé, and music and dance woven into the rich culture of the city. This was one of the most culturally rich and exciting stops of our trip. And make sure you're subscribed as we take the adventure north to the Colombian Caribbean coast.